Hey everyone, no $1,000 strap search today. It's only Tuesday. We'll save that for Thursday. Um, but since I am kind of in lockdown here, as most of us are, I figured I'd tell you what I've been doing. I got a text or an email from a buddy of mine, Silver Surfer. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen his channel. And he was talking about one of my star notes. And the star note that he was talking about, he said that he needed an I note for his collection. And well, I just did all of my star note reviews, so I knew I had a stack of star notes like that. So I said, okay, no problem. What year do you need? He said, any year. I said, okay. So I immediately went through all of these, and I couldn't find any. You can see that these are listed as star notes, so these are all star notes right here. And I thought to myself, okay, wait a second. How can I go through that many stars and not find a single I note? So I then opened up my other box, which contains all of my older bills that I'm saving. And the older notes, I figured just in case I had put a star note in there for an older year. And I couldn't find one in there either. So I was thinking to myself, okay, what's the deal? Why is this so tough to find? So I checked in the book, and the book said that the I star notes weren't available after 1995. So I checked my personal binder. I don't know if I've ever brought this out for you guys, but this binder here is basically, I don't want to call it a typeset, but this is 2017. Let's see, you can see there I'm actually missing quite a few 2017s, believe it or not. But this is every single series, every single Federal Reserve, every single year, going all the way back to 1963. So I've got so many different bills in here, and I've marked the spots where there weren't bills printed. But yeah, I've got all of these bills in here, and I decided I was going to check to see if I could find a star note for them with the I Federal Reserve. That would be Minneapolis. And after going through all of these, no luck. So I started digging around through everything else I had. At this point, you can see that I have roughly searched over 1,000 bills. And it wasn't until I grabbed the stack of notes that was just sitting on my table. These are, what do we got here? And this is that error note that I found with a blue smudge, probably nothing. That was my stripper note, I guess you'd call it. This is full of baby oil or whatever. Some of the other notes on here, 7 of a kind. There's a 6 of a kind trinary and a block of 6. Some rare stars. This is just stuff that's sitting in a pile here waiting to go for a better place to put it. And it was in this stack, after I searched all those bills, that I found this one. This particular one is an I star note, and it's from 1969. And the I star notes, those are extremely difficult to find. There's just not a lot of them out there, and nothing that's been in recent times. So if you come across a star note with the I from Minneapolis, that is a tough to find note, just so you're aware. So, what have I been doing? Well, I got myself a couple boxes of pennies, and I've been watching lots of penny searches online. And I see people open up the roll, spread it out, look for the Wheaties, and they pull out the 2009s, and that's it. And let's see. This here is the amount of Wheaties that I found in that box, except for the last 3. The last 3 were all Canadian. So I had 3 or 4 Canadian, and these were all Wheaties, and I believe the oldest one in here was a 1934. There's one that I found with a hole in it. So yeah, I think the oldest one I found was a 1934. So that was that whole box. Now, the average person that's going through pennies is going to go through the whole box in an hour, and they're going to pull out this little bit, and they're going to toss everything else. The thing is, I know there's more than that in the rolls. So how do I do my searches? Well, to start with, I got a bunch of tubes, okay? Now, you can buy a box of tubes for $25, $30 or whatever. Or, if you want to save a couple bucks, what you do is you go to a coin shop and you find half a box. and you pay full price for the tubes at that particular point, but then you also have the box. And then the next time you're in the coin shop, with a little luck, he'll have another half a box. You buy that box. Now you've got one full box of tubes, but you have two boxes. And the boxes are the important thing. Because now you can go to a coin dealer and buy their used tubes. Most of these tubes were 10 for $1 that I bought. A lot of times I'd grab 10 tubes and I'd buy whatever I was buying and he'd just throw them in. And because I had a place to put them when I got home, it was very convenient for me to put all my used tubes in here. Used tubes on YouTube. That's funny. Anyway, the next thing I did was I numbered this. I started this with a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and 1. And what that refers to is 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2000 teens, of course. And that would be 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and so along the line. Which means when I go through a roll, I can then put every year into a tube all by itself. So that's the first thing I do. The first thing I do is I sort my change. If there's a date that I can't read, that's going in the reject pile. If there's a coin that's completely butchered and I can't make out anything, it goes in the reject pile. Everything else goes in a special tube with just those coins. This particular one, what do we got here? These are all 1987s that I found in that particular box. Now I've got another box of tubes, so when one roll fills up, I then transfer it to the other roll. And once I've gone through the entire box, I now have all my pennies sorted by year. Well, what good does that do me? Let me show you. I've talked about these books here. This is the Cherry Picker's Guide, one of the best books you can find for variations and stuff. And I don't know how much of this I can actually show without getting in trouble, but let's just open it up to a random page, preferably one that'll be helpful to you guys. Here we go. This particular page, like I said, just a random page. This talks about a 1939 Lincoln cent. It's a double die obverse, and it gives you a little bit of an explanation as to what that is. The normal 1939 in VF20 is about 25 cents, according to this book, but the variety is $24. Now, that's the key there, okay? When you go through looking for all your wheat pennies, I bought a 5,000 count bag of wheat pennies and found the 1909 VDB penny in there. But like I said, I paid 3 cents a piece for wheat pennies. If you want to go digging through the whole box and pull out this many pennies and know that, what is that, 15 pennies there? Okay, so I profited 30 cents off of that $25 box. If that's your goal, good for you. Not me. My goal is to try to find one of these. That's worth $24. Or maybe one of these that's worth $25. Or one of those at $25. But if you don't have a guidebook to tell you what areas to look for, you could be wasting a lot of time. The way that I can help you guys, this particular book is all about nickels and lower. But in the back of the book, they do have an appendix that lists all of the different varieties of coin. So let's see. Lincoln cents start here. In this appendix, hold this right. Lincoln cents. That first one, 01, that refers to a penny. It's worth 1 cent. 1909 is the year, and 1101 is the variety. It then lists the year, 1909 VDB, and a brief description of what it is, double die obverse, and so on down the line. You got RPM, which is repunched mint mark, and see, I can scroll through this list, and you guys can take a look, and you guys can pause it anytime you like. You can refer back to this list, and this is all of the different varieties you're going to find for Lincoln pennies. To have this kind of information, I mean, this is just the appendix, so you're just getting the brief summary of what it is, what years they are, and all of those, and all we've done is so far get to 1950s. This is 1953, so that's 1909 to 1950. And if I turn the page, we can continue. starting with 54 and working our way down. Now these are the things that you're looking for. And like I said, I can't really thumb through and photograph the entire book. I'm sure there'd be all kinds of reasons I can't do that. But to show you guys a list, I don't think there'd be a problem showing you a list. Once again, we're only at 1972. Now think of all the pennies you've searched in your lifetime and how many of those pennies could have been on this list. But you guys didn't know. So like I said, it's much better to find or go through all the work and find something that's worth a little bit of money rather than just try to race through that entire box and find something worth 3 cents. So that's all those, and there is a couple more on this side here, right there. 2009, 2014. So yeah, when it comes to searching for pennies, searching through nickels, doing my box hunts, I take my time. I sort through all the different ones, and then I hook them up to my scope and see if I can't find anything in this book here. So hopefully that'll help you guys out a little bit. I know it takes a lot of time to do it this way, but hey, look around. We've got nothing but time right now. So enjoy your collections, stop speed running through boxes, and maybe you'll find something a little interesting. I've got to go through all of these yet through my scope, and I'll see if I find anything interesting, and when I do, I'll post another video showing you my goodies. All right. If you guys learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be back on Thursday with my normal $1,000 strap search. I just wanted to fill you guys in on what I'm doing. Thanks again, Silver Surfer, and we'll talk to you guys later.